London, 2016. A melting pot full of global influences and cultures. Immigrant parents face the difficult task of bringing up a family and keeping the traditions of their ancestors while adapting to the new Western ways of living.
Yeah, so let me finish talking.
I'll walk out of the house. I'm in England. I'll come in the house. I'm in pretty much Nigeria.
The fear of losing one's cultural identity is real, but having two cultural identities can be challenging.
You're not really British, you're not really Nigerian. So it's like this weird in between.
I'm home, but then you're still looking at me like I'm not one of yours. Where do I fit in?
What will be of the generations to come?
You've got the best of both worlds, and I feel like it's definitely something I would like to pass on to my kids.
This is The Next Generation. West Africa meets the West. I travelled to southeast London to meet the Sala family. Born and raised in Britain, but parents from Ghana.
We come from a Ghanaian family. Both our parents are from Ghana. They came to this country. Well, my mum came first. She was already pregnant with me. She came first about 29 years ago. And my dad followed a few years later. And we've lived in the UK ever since.
We're brought up discipline number one, so when you step out of line, you'll be disciplined. Discipline comes in so many ways anyway. One is obviously getting a bit of the cane, not to kill you, but to discipline you, to straighten you up.
You go out to the garden, pluck a branch off, and she'd be like, just in case I need to use it, And that was my learning cane. And I felt like my friends would go home and do their homework, have their tea. I didn't even know what tea was at the time, and go out to play for a bit. And then, that was it. But I get home, I have to do my homework, do this maths or extra maths or arithmetic work with the cane, do my chores like washing up and stuff, because by the age of 7 my mum had bought a little stool for me so I could actually do the washing up, and then you had your bath and you went to bed.
By the time I could talk, I had to work from 7 till 9. That was my shift, innit?
What were you learning?
We're learning for the 11 plus.
Oh, you mean your schoolwork?
Yeah,
and doing your homework and
it was always 7 to 9. From 7 o'clock, TV off, computer off. Unless you're using it for work, everything goes off. But I noticed that was one thing that was different from my other white friends, if you know what I mean.
I would like them to grow up the way I grew up. But sometimes when I speak to them and I say where I come from, the answer is, but we are not there.
Go to Ghana and go and ask your elders why. And it was just like, yeah, but I'm asking you. I grew up listening, hearing the phrase, you don't respect at all. And it's not even because you're being disrespectful or you mean to disrespect somebody. It's just because some things, some jokes, some sentences are just lost in translation.
I refer to you and Daddy as guys. Like, for example, when I had that group chat that I made up and I said, guys, basically my rent is due. You literally threw a hissy fit at that. Guys. I don't mean it as paddy, yeah, mates. But guys is just like a collective term. Do you want me to say parents? I feel like that's too formal.
But today is guys. Tomorrow will be something else. Another day will be something else.
What else will it be?
Please, don't even go there. Don't even go there. But calling guys, no, I don't think it's proper. It's not correct to refer your parents as guys. Okay, call me parent then. Hello, mom and dad. That's even better.
On the opposite side of the Thames, I met the Lawal family, parents from Nigeria and children born in Britain, and there's no doubt which aspect of life they focus on the most.
Education. You know, is one of the key things that we were, that was instilled in us, that without education, there is very few things you can achieve in life.
Go to school, you finish school. You finish school, you go to sixth form college. You finish that, go to uni. Finish uni, get a job. There's nothing else outside of that.
Well, my parents anyway, they're a lot stricter than some of my white friends in terms of what you said, like going out. Like if they say, oh, what time is it going to finish? 10, yeah, so you can't go unless I pick you up.
So she was like, make sure you don't watch TV, make sure you both study. I was like, what's this woman going on about? What do you mean don't watch TV? Like, I was like, whatever. So I just ignored her. I turned it off literally maybe 20 minutes or so before she comes in. So she comes in, so you're doing work, yeah? I was like, yeah. Oh, did you watch TV? I was like, no. I was like, okay. So she went behind the TV, put her hand, I was like, so why is the TV hot? So I was like, oh, so now you're lying to me. I was like, no, that's not like that. Like, so why is the TV hot? I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
When I get told off at home from when I was young, I wouldn't look at my parents in the eye. Like, you just wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you do that, like, you're kind of standing up to them, kind of standing on the ground, and you're facing them. Like, you're not, like, they'll ask you, who are you looking at? Am I your mates? Kind of thing. You don't do them things, you look to the ground. But when you got to school, I was getting told off, I would look to the ground, look at me when I'm talking to you.
The Children of the Gap event touched on these issues of cultural differences. The New Black held this exhibition to share the experiences of creators who found themselves bridging the gap between being born and raised in Europe, but also being part of a more distant cultural heritage.
Basically telling mum that I'm a lost cause, that Britain is whiting my insides, this African that eats our food yet wears their clothes.
I caught up with one of the artists who moved from Nigeria to London when he was 9 and has lived here ever since.
Judged for being a Londoner, like I'm judged for being black in London. And that for me is key, because it's almost like if I'm home, but then you're still looking at me like I'm not one of yours, but then I go to London, but then at the same time I'm being judged for being black in London. Where do I fit in? You might go to the odd auntie and uncle and just kind of drop in a bit of language in there, and then they'll just look at you, and then one of two things happen. But there's the first side, which they can just correct you and you keep it moving, or the second side, they'll correct you and have a bit of a giggle. I got more of the correction and giggles, and then the correction after. So for every giggle that I received, I just didn't want to know anything about it anymore, because there was no point.
I tried to speak Ga. Yeah, it didn't work out because they just started laughing at me. And I think after that, I was just like, yeah, no, Ga isn't for me. I just understand and that's it.
Speaking the language and knowing language is kind of like a measure of how Nigerian you are. So if you don't, they just unbelievable. You're not really. You're really.
Then it's a funny one, because I got cousins in Nigeria.
They don't even speak.
You can't speak.
Imagine
the language fluently. So
obviously, because they're born and bred there, they'll be seen as Nigerian.
Between 13 and 16, it just wasn't cool to say you was African.
It wasn't trendy to be African at the time, and you were almost ashamed of it.
As you get older, and you kind of become more aware of how much this country is just like, you're not really British. You kind of felt like claiming Nigeria more.
Now, it's celebrated.
If Ghana was 10 and Britain was 1, I'd say I'm a 5. Like I can waver between both.
I'll always be regarded as a Nigerian first and foremost. I've got a Nigerian name, Nigerian surname.
And I'm happy that I was brought up the way I was brought up. It makes you bond with other immigrant families, even though they're not from the same country as you. And I feel like you'd be able to better survive in different countries, because the culture, as different as they are, also have similarities.
The people of London very much reflect the city itself, a mix of cultures from around the world. This is the next generation.